Hey, I'm Michael here, Citizens for New Louisiana. I hold in my hand the subject of multiple phone calls and emails and text messages from all of you, my friends, that wanted me to defend my honor against these scandalous insults by a local news organization who will remain nameless for the moment, but I think you probably know who they are. By the way, these guys are the same fun guys that come to our Facebook page and comment, and their comments are longer than our whole article. It's great. It's epic. And I know you know what I'm talking about. It's just fantastic. Look, so here's their newsletter, and I'm going to read a little bit from this because I want to make a point about some hypocrisy that's going on. And I'm going to change a word. Instead of using, they're using the word Republicans, but they mean conservatives. So I'm going to just change that word in this right here. So let me read this to you. It says 10% of conservatives trust what media reports. And it's not just the national media. Trust in local news organizations has declined too. So they've gotten with some university and they've created a survey to find out why you don't trust them. And seriously, they want you to fill out the survey. If you're conservative, they want you to go fill out their survey to find out why you don't trust them. It's great. It's epic. The very next item in here, I'm going to read you this. This is a letter to the editor. The Current got it wrong on their story about threat to the libraries. While the author of the piece did mention the library system's financial crisis, you notice that it's a crisis. We'll explore that in a minute. He seemed to avoid pointing out that the actions of the self-proclaimed conservatives that they want you to fill out a survey mentioned in the article were by actors in the misinformation campaign that led to the library's loss of funding. They lost one of three taxes. Roads and bridge maintenance still only has one tax and it has two things. The library is one thing and it has currently two taxes. It used to have three. Here's the best part. In other words, none of this would have even been a problem but for a campaign of lies they participated in several years ago. A campaign of lies. Now look, what does that mean? Okay, so obviously I'm going to read more from supporters of public libraries, which, by the way, it's the same people. This is the same exact people that were friends of Drag Queen Storytime and all of that. It's all the same people. So friends of the library, supporters of the library article. So let's go read it. Well, the website says it's a 7-minute read. Don't bother, because it doesn't really say anything in here about what we lied about, even though that's what the teaser was. I'm going to tell you what they said we lied about, and they can prove me wrong. So the first thing I have to explain to you, number one, is the information that we present, generally speaking, there's some opinion in there, but for the most part, it's all backed up. So if you see a red link or a red text in one of our articles online, you can click on that. It takes you to original source material, so you can judge this for yourself. We draw conclusions to help you out, but the fact of the matter is, it's all backed up. This conspiracy of lies, or whatever they call it, they just say it and they expect you to believe it. That's why there's 10% of the people trust them, because they don't tell you anything other than what they want you to know. This is the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report by Lafayette Consolidated Government. It is the most recent one that we have available. The new one for 2020 will be made available April 15th to 30th, somewhere in there. The digital copy will come out. You will probably see it at the Lafayette Consolidated Government meeting, because both the city and the parish use the same book. The print version I've already ordered will be in May sometime, I understand. But when this book comes out next month, we'll be able to see a little bit more information. What's cool about this is before you guys approved moving $10 million to floodwater management from the library, because they had a surplus. And they said that's blatant falsehood, misinformation. That's, what was the word that they used? A campaign of lies. It's a campaign of lies to say that we had a surplus, but you voted to remove some of that surplus to floodwater management. Why did you do that? Because what's funny is the Kenneth Boudreaux Memorial Library in the downtownish area, people actually walked the district and asked the people that lived there, hey, what do you think? Do you think we need another library right here? You know what they said? Overwhelming majority of people said, no, we don't need another library. We got one right there. It's literally like a mile away. We don't need another one. What we want is just for our houses to stop flooding. Could you make that happen? We'll be happy as can be. Right there in the district that they're saying, oh, it's racist to not build a library, they don't want it. They want the water to flow. That's why the money went from the library fund to floodwater management. That's the reason. They don't want you to know that. They don't go talking into these neighborhoods. They just project into the neighborhoods what they think they want without even talking to anybody. So here we go. This is on page 152. This is the campaign of lies. Here is the Lafayette Public Library, and here is their ending fund balance. $42.3 million. Again, this is kind of a mortgage thing for the government. A mortgage application. What they do is they fill this out and they send it in to the bonding authorities. They write bonds for roads and bridges and other major projects, capital outlay, and they pay it back over years. Well, in order to do that, they have to submit an application. It's effectively a statement that they're good for the money, and this is their proof. So if they falsify this, brother, they go on to jail. So campaign of lies, actual audited financial report. This is what I'm showing you. This is why it's important. And by the way, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to load up in here. We're going to take this article. We're going to put in the $42,293,988 in our handy dandy calculator. See that? So we're going to take that. We're going to set this aside for a minute. Now we're going to find out with that $42 million. We're just going to pretend for a moment this is back then. This is when they had the $42 million. I know $10 million has gone away. But campaign of lies. We're talking about what actually happened and why the voters decided what they did. This, by the way, is the adopted operational 5-year budget for Lafayette Consolidated Government. This is the 2020-2021. This is the most recent version. So the library in 2020-2021 has a certain amount of money that they're going to spend. By the way, this is page 263. This is on our website. It's also on Lafayette Consolidated Government's website. Here is their annual budget for the library. It's $12 million and change. What, $578,914. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that number. We're going to divide that $42 million we punched in a minute ago against their annual budget. $12,578,914. That is their annual budget. Equals. So they could have, if they had rolled the millages to zero, they could have gone 3 1/3 years with zero income and operated at full capacity. That is the kind of surplus they had. Now, how much money do they bring in a year? Well, before we jump onto that, their budget, let me show you the ad valorem taxes that they bring in real quick, because that has changed too. In the annual report, we show their ad valorem taxes. You'll see that here, $13 million. That was in 2019. 2020 ad valorem taxes have changed slightly. So I want to bring you up to speed on that too. Ad valorem taxes, it's under library millage right here. This is, by the way, is page 97 of the budget book. And their projected ad valorem taxes is $10,642,000. I don't believe that's entirely accurate. Their projected amount for this year is $11,028,000. So I think that's probably closer. So we'll just call it $11 million that they're likely to get in ad valorem taxes. All right, so you with me? So they're bringing in $11 million. They have a $42 million surplus. Even if their budget is more, and they budgeted, what do we say, $12 million last year? They're bringing in 11, so they're losing $1 million a year. You have $40 million. How many years is that? I don't even need the handy-dandy calculator. That's 40 years they could last if they don't change anything. But what do they want to do? They want to build a new branch on the downtown area, a mile and something away from an existing branch. They want to build a new one for $12 million, I think. Well, $12 million is $8 million for that branch and $4 million for the Karen Crow branch. So the question came up, this is early on when board president Doug Palumbo was just getting on the library board. I happened to be at that library board meeting. The question, they were going through all this money, that the $12 million they had to spend. The question came up, well, how long is it going to take for us to run out? Oh, we'll be out of money in no time. It'll be like in a couple of years. We're going to be in a real financial crisis, to use the words from the article. And Doug Palumbo just had this amazingly, precise question. It just like went right to the problem like a scalpel. So how long would it last if we didn't build those new libraries? Because remember, the $12 million for expansion and capital outlay, you're going to have to put employees there. It's going to cost more money. By the way, 62% of the library's budget is employees, so now it would be even more. So all of this is going on, and what if we don't build a library? So how long would it last? Well, guess what? It would last the 40 years, I'm telling you. 40 years if they don't build a library, just a couple of years if they do. So, I mean, So why would we do that? Why would we build a library knowing we don't have the money to support it? Simple questions like this is what our government needs. What these crazies that are writing these articles just spin. Hurry up, get rid of it all so that you can go and have a crisis, a financial crisis, and go to the voters and say, oh, if you don't give us more money, we're going to shut down libraries. Well, you shouldn't have built them in the first place. Anyway, I digress. So I wanted to show you one more thing before we jump here. And this is, oh, by the way, that's Fund 263 Library. And they bring in, I'm going to remind you, $10 million, what we'll call $11 million is what they're bringing in 2020. $11,031,374 is their projected money coming in. Let's turn to the other side. What's on page 96 is Fund 260. What is that? That's what everybody complains about, road and bridge maintenance. How much ad valorem tax does it bring in? Here we go. Road and bridge maintenance, you see that right here. Road and bridge maintenance, millage, all the way over here. The projected, let's use last year's projected to be fair, $9.5 million. So roads and bridge maintenance for the entire parish, for the whole parish, still gets less money than a handful of libraries. So let me ask you, does that make sense to you? Are you hitting potholes? I know I'm going all over Lafayette. I'm hitting potholes all over the place. Do we need libraries, Taj Mahal libraries, or do more Taj Mahal libraries? Because they're already built, they're already there, they're always, they're serving the public, they're doing their job. Fine. Do we need more? I don't think so. I don't think you think so. And yet, we have this junk going on, telling you what to think and wondering why you don't agree with them, why only 10% of you agree with them. So that's it. I know it's a long video. Apologies in advance. But look, here it is. Audited financial statements versus the opinions of con men.